let's get started with the bad. Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer got fired from his job with the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night after starting the season 2-11. Started off the season, basically got fired at midnight. Actually, it's hilarious. How do you get fired at midnight? His incidents include. Let's get to his incidents real quick. So we'll start.
Time?
It's
Are we
a
gonna
list.
have time to get through all?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long list, but I'll make it quick. His first one, hiring Chris Doyle, the Iowa strength and conditioning coach, who literally got criticized for making racist remarks toward his team.
It's a bad start.
It got resigned after literally a day. His original game plan was to rush for 250 yards and pass for 250 yards in a game. He said it at a press conference. No team's ever done that. Urban Meyer thinks that him, with his rookie quarterback and a second-year running back, can do that.
He didn't even use a second-year running back.
Exactly. Didn't even use that. I'll get to that in a second. After that Week 4 loss against the Bengals that left them 0-4, losing 24-21, Urban Meyer stayed behind in Cincinnati, and we know what happened there. He got caught at a bar with a woman who was not his wife. And yeah, no, that got a lot of backlash. Shad Khan, the owner, had to step up and say, Urban has to regain our trust. Do we think he regained the trust? I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it.
Apparently, he repeatedly berated his coaching staff, calling them losers. Other stuff I can't repeat on air. Really ironic, considering he handpicked that coaching staff. Good job, Urban. Way to be. Benched James Robinson for no apparent reason, and only put him back because Trevor Lawrence said something. Yeah, and last but not least, he kicked his own kicker.
Yes.
Guys, it's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's hilarious.
No, that is
That's
really
like out of a
funny.
Seinfeld episode. Like,
Yeah.
he kicked a kicker.
He
He kicked the kicker.
He kicked the kicker. Yeah.
It's funny because
Josh
it's like
Lambo. It's
like-
hilarious.
that's assault, which is insane.
Oh yeah, fully.
But it's so stupid.
It's-
He kicked his kicker.
Listen.
guy's-
I'm sorry I couldn't keep it serious throughout that. That was hilarious because how do you kick your own kicker?
This stuff, I mean, like half the stuff he did is just like it's impossible. To
Yeah,
stay
like
serious
that was
about
a
it 'cause
shortened list. Like
it's-
we could have kept going.
Oh, it could have kept going 100%. But you know what? We got to be nice to the guy. You know, he only kicked his own kicker and said a bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Only maybe cheated on his wife. But you know what? We stick to the good stuff here at Urban Meyer. He got 2 wins. He
Got 2
congrats to Urban Meyer for winning 2 games and screwing up the development of a generational quarterback for a year. Good job.
He won the most games of any team abroad this year.
Wow.
At least tied for it.
You
'cause
know
if
what?
there's one other
Wow.
one-
You're putting on a good Urban Meyer. You're putting on a great example for the
the
city of
Brits.
London.
And they're big fans of the Jaguars. out there,
Huge
'cause they
fans
play
of the
their own
Jaguars.
teams. They're
Right.
big
The
Jaguars
London
fans.
Jaguars. You know,
Yep.
big fans. Probably more London fans than Jacksonville fans.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
It's a very good chance.
So let's get started with the elephant in the room. Thomas, I'm gonna start with you. Is Urban Meyer the worst head coach hire we've ever seen?
Oof.
That is a great question because he very well might be. I'm not like I'm sure there have been like coaches in the past, like
Just
the NFL.
just based off your own memory.
Based off my in my own memory, in my estimation, yes, he is the worst head coach because of his. I mean, obviously his statistics as a head coach. He was 2-11. Now
Yeah,
we've
but-
seen coaches.
Yeah, but forget the statistics for a
Right.
second. Let's talk about just the incidents.
Right, and
stuff.
that's the icing on the cake. The fact that he was just an absolute liability in every situation that he was placed in. The fact that he just had made enemies with almost everyone in the business of football this year, including his own wife. And like,
Oh,
you know, like
God.
I don't want to hit him with like personal insults like that, but it's like
Hey,
you're
man,
a public
you ki-
figure,
you kinda
and you made it very public that you're
It kind of walked into it. It
Yeah.
kind of fell right in your lap.
So-
No pun intended.
exactly okay.
Oh,
Yes.
whoa. Oh, God.
So
I had to. I'm sorry.
So yes, obviously this has to be the worst. At least in the 21st century, as long as I've been alive, this has
Yeah.
to be the worst coach. And you've had terrible coaches. You've had coaches that have.
we see Adam Gase. We see Matt Nagy.
Yes, you've seen 2 coaches that have coached their teams to 0-16 seasons, and they weren't as bad as Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
Can I bring
no.
up one of my favorite quotes
Go ahead,
from
please.
him this season?
Please.
It was I can't remember what loss it was, but he was talking to Vic Vincio and he goes, "Every week it's like playing Alabama in the NFL." And to me, that is like the quintessential college coach way out of his league in
Yeah.
the pros quote. I mean, like I'm pretty sure it was against the Texans, a Texans loss. And he said
The
every
first
week
loss of the season.
right.
Wow.
Or maybe I don't know which game it was, but he said every week it's like playing Alabama in the NFL. And to me, that was the biggest issue. I mean, we see college coaches try and make it to the NFLs, and it's football, but it is not the same game. It's not the same job. And I think all of these issues we've seen beyond just the statistics of and how bad, historically bad, this team was. It just seemed like he could not get a control of his locker room. And you got to think,
he lost his locker room so
he's
early
going
on.
from coaching 18 to 22-year-old guys in an atmosphere where they never lose, like
Right.
literally they don't lose, to a experience where he has to be around guys who are very professional, who aren't gonna
Right.
like put up with his BS.
They've made it to the NFL now. They're not going to put up
Right,
with this BS.
right,
Exactly.
and he doesn't know how to lose. To me that was something I saw in all of his post game press comments. You mentioned going at his other coaches, going at his players.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how. He couldn't handle losing. He couldn't handle the pressures of that
Adversity.
environment. And I think we literally saw somebody unravel
Oh.
before our eyes. Like he literally
Yeah.
just unraveled as a person.
He lost it.
Yes, like just the way he handled so many situations.
He was unhinged by like week 8.
Exactly.
In Jacksonville. Oof.
Oh, their second week, one of my favorite things I saw on social media this year from any NFL team was a graphic they put up when they went 0-2, and it was a
Oh.
quote. It said, "Hang in there with us. We're going to get better."
Oh
Urban
my
Meyer.
God.
Like, week 2, hang in, we're going to get better. Like, that killed me. They posted that, and I was like, no, this is going to get worse.
That
This
aged
is
so
going to get
poorly.
so much worse.
Freezing cold takes. Where are you at? That aged so poorly. Oh my God. Urban. Yeah. When you make Matt Nagy and Adam Gase look like Belichick and Parcells, there's a problem. Only person I can really remember that like compares to Urban is like Bobby Petrino when he was hired by the Falcons. When Mike Vick went to jail, he was there for 13 games, just as long as Urban was there. He basically left them post-it note on his laminated note on everybody's locker saying, "I'm out. I'm going to Arkansas to coach Arkansas." Basically the equivalent of a text message breakup. But no, Bobby Petrino, that was bad. This is so much worse, especially because I think this is in the social media age, where everything you do is put on a microscope.
Yes.
Right.
There's no
Urban
hiding.
Meyer failed that test so badly. It's hilarious because Urban Meyer is a phenomenal college coach. I think he has more national championship losses than NFL wins. I think there's a stat I saw
Does he?
on Twitter or
It's
something.
very interesting.
It's a very funny stat to me. Urban's a phenomenal head coach in college football terms.
Yes.
But one question I'm going to have to pose: we saw how he treated his players in the NFL. How long do you think he's been doing that for the college level?
I mean, the thing was, one of the people brought Urban Meyer into this program as like a culture changer. Like that was his big thing. Like some
Right.
coaches are schematic, some coaches are this, some coaches are culture coaches. And if you think back to his time in Ohio State, like I'm pretty sure he got suspended for domestic violence once or twice, and there were issues with. Like, there were definitely scandals when he was a college coach. So you're telling me he's going to come into
you
a
wanna
professional
look at that Florida team?
Yeah.
That was
yes.
class.
That team needs a 30 for 30.
Literally, literally, and so you're gonna bring that guy into an NFL locker room and say,
Awful.
"Here, build a culture, foster a culture." Like,
Yeah, no.
really, like that.
Quite the.
Is it really
interesting
shocking
decision.
that this experiment worked out the way it did?
I just want to commend Trevor Lawrence for being so composed through this all. Because
Right.
how do you deal with that? Having your head coach being the drama queen of the NFL and just making everything so, putting your team in the headlines every week for the wrong reason, and being a rookie quarterback. And I know he hasn't been that great. Trevor has had his fair share of struggles, but he's been pretty composed through it all, which
Right.
I respect a lot. That's tough. But
Yeah.
speaking of Trevor, we saw a wasted. I'll say quote unquote. He had a wasted year. This is a wasted year of development for
I agree.
a guy who I consider a generational talent.
Mhm.
Came to the league, consensus #1 overall pick. But now the question begs to defer. We saw your guys, Mac Jones, is balling out. He looks like the best quarterback in the rookie draft class.
He is.
Offensive rookie.
If we redo the 2020 NFL draft, the 2021 NFL draft, does Trevor Lawrence still go #1 overall?
Yes.
I think so.
100%.
I think it's consensus,
He,
right?
Yeah. So I mean, the thing with Trevor Lawrence is that he is just a much better quarterback than Mac
Extremely
Jones.
great talent.
But he just, he really did not luck out with his landing spot. And Zach Wilson didn't either.
Mhm.
And Neither did Justin Fields.
Trey Lance or so.
Trey Lance,
I love Trey Lance personally. I think
the 49ers
landed
are
a
still
perfect
like a
spot.
good team right now, even though
and they got weapons. And
Yeah.
this is a talented team. I think
that's a nice
I
spot.
think he's in the best spot.
Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you gotta feel for the kid because he literally did not lose games in high school or college. Like he lost like 2 total. In it, like those combined, like he lost a national championship and he lost in like the first round of college football playoff last year.
Right.
Other than that, all wins. And then he goes into his first NFL season.
11 losses.
11 losses.
Bang. Just bang.
2 wins. Those 2 wins I want to mention. Urban Meyer got 2 wins, both over AFC East teams. One of them was the Bills.
9-6. Absolute.
You were so happy to say that.
I love bashing the Bills.
You were so happy to say that.
And Nick DeLuca's existence doesn't help the fact, like it only makes
Nick, I'm
like,
so
like it
sorry.
more.
I hope Nick listens to Justin.
I really hope he.
Nick,
I'll just send him this clip.
Nick, I'm so sorry,
because
man.
I like to trip him. Just doing it last night. The Bills, I feel the Bills are in a tough spot right now. I feel bad for the Bills.
They're definitely an interesting.
It's amazing
spot.
that they lost to the Jaguars though, because the Jaguars are so bad. And that was a 9-6 game. What a weird,
absolute barn burner. It looked like a baseball game.
It was a very strange game.
One thing I think. Well, we talked a little bit, but James Robinson.
Yeah.
2020 undrafted free agent comes out of nowhere
Phenomenal.
and just breaks the record for yards from scrimmage by an undrafted rookie. And you'd think that this team that needs all the help they can get, they got lucky. They got a guy literally fell into their lap for very cheap. They didn't even have to draft him.
And then they draft Travis Etienne.
And then
in the
what
first
do?
round.
They take Travis Etienne, who did get hurt, so they didn't even get to use him. And who does Myers give the ball to? Not James Robinson, but Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde and
his friend Carlos Hyde
right,
from
played
Ohio
at Ohio State in 2012 and 2013. But
oh my god,
come on! So
just
I
malpractice.
I do feel for Trevor Lawrence because he didn't have weapons, and then the weapons that were on the team weren't utilized.
Oh yeah.
So it's sad because I think that was a great question. That would you still take Trevor Lawrence as the first pick? And I think you have to. Like at the end of the day, he's still Trevor Lawrence. He's still very talented.
Sunshine.
And you're right. This was unfortunately a wasted year for him. And I think it's interesting in a lot of the interviews since the very recent firing of Urban Meyer, he hasn't really come out and said that many bad things about his coach, but he says that there's a lot more focus now.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot more focus in the locker room. There's a lot fewer distractions.
No more distractions. I think the locker room has been. They have a common.
Exactly.
They have a common enemy now. I hate to say it, but it's kind of true. They can band together, build off of it, take everything what happened with Urban personally, and just go out and build off of this year, build off of the adversity that goes on in Jacksonville. And like, what's next for the Jaguars? Do you think like they have pieces? Like I love Trevor Lawrence. They have a franchise quarterback pretty much, and they have talent on both sides of the ball. As little as it sounds like, they have Josh Allen, who's a pretty good player. They got I don't know what the hell their running back situation. They have a dynamic duo, which was not utilized. Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark. They got players,
and he was hurt too.
Right, exactly. So like, what's next for the Jaguars? Do you see this team ever like competing soon?
Sign Jason Garrett.
Oh my! Please don't put that upon Trevor.
No, I don't think they'll be headed in that direction. But
do they go down to like a former head coach route, or do they go back to the college route? What do you think? Like, do you think?
I think that this experiment failed miserably.
Oh,
and
so
we really don't have any examples of it not failing. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, I guess, is having a good time.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley leaves USC for the Jaguars.
But yeah,
just
all these coaches, like Nick Saban, when he coached the Dolphins, was terrible.
He was not good. Yeah, exactly.
It's just a different game.
LSU,
it's
right?
a different game. You can't recruit anymore. These guys are at the top of their game.
Chip Kelly was great with Oregon.
Yeah. Not good.
Terrible NFL coach.
You know a guy I'm gonna bring up? Joe Brady. He just got fired from the Panthers as the offensive coordinator, but he worked so well with Joe Burrow and that 2019 LSU team.
That's a good one.
I could see Joe Brady being the next head coach of the Jaguars. Maybe Eric Bieniemy, a guy who's been in circles.
That would be a great choice.
Bieniemy has been in circles. Been in circles the past couple of years. I think one of those guys could be the next head coach for the Jaguars.
Is Urban Meyer done coaching?
Oh, he's done coaching in the NFL. He'll never get another.
I'm talking college too.
Listen, I had that on my list. Urban, some program might take Urban on. Be like, we want to win.
Not a big one though.
No, he definitely won't get like an Ohio State job.
Like, I mean, like, how many times do you mess up before it's like, all right, like.
when Urban Meyer ends
Yeah.
up,
That's it.
Urban Meyer ends up back at Florida in 2 years after Billy Napier gets a new job
No.
elsewhere. That's gonna be hilarious to me.
I mean, he cheated on his wife. Like,
Urban's not a great human being.
No.
He is
No.
a bad.
And there was
person.
also there was the scandal at Ohio State where he had a coach under him who he just didn't
Domestic
report
violence.
domestic violence. That's
Yeah,
that's the
that's
situation I was
that's the
talking about.
situation.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he had. I
Like,
mean,
how
even
many,
before
how many
this
more
terrible
chances are you going to give this guy?
Right, exactly.
Or,
I mean,
so where does Urban Meyer end up? I feel like he's gonna end up as a TV analyst.
I think
somewhere.
he'll end up on TV probably, or maybe he'll just get out of the public spotlight, which is probably something that would be really good for his brand.
That would be
Just
great for his
completely
brand.
escape the limelight entirely.
I don't think that's how Urban Meyer operates. I'm
It's,
sure
no,
he's
it
gonna be,
doesn't
he's gonna be in
sound
the
like
public
that's going to
spotlight.
be what he
And
goes.
it's not gonna be pretty.